One of the most common questions I get as a real estate agent is, Mike, what's going on with the real estate market? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's dive a little bit deeper and talk about it. The main thing that we've been seeing over the past couple of months are headlines that are saying home prices are at an all-time high, home prices keep rising. And realistically, that has been our market for a long time. At this point though, we are starting to see a change in the market that I think will have a bigger impact as the year progresses. One of the biggest impacts on the market changing right now is interest rates. So the Feds have said that they're going to be increasing interest rates a few more times through this year, so we can expect that these changes will continue to increase. In this graph, you can see that the actual affordability in mortgage amount, how much your monthly payment will be, has drastically increased over the past couple of months as interest rates have increased as well. So this is going to have an effect on you as a home buyer in terms of how much you're comfortable with spending, because now your monthly payment is going to have a little bit different number to it. So if you are actively out shopping, make sure that you're keeping that in mind and have talked to your lender recently. If you're considering buying a home, this is a factor that you want to make sure that you're budgeting for. When we look at budgeting, ultimately the monthly payment is the number that we need to have make sense. When we look at it, as you can tell in the last graph, those monthly payments have increased quite a bit. So when we look at the average price of homes, that's going to have an adjustment at some point. One of the other key factors I think that we are running into, especially here in the Sacramento area, is affordability. So when we look at this graph, it's essentially showing how many and what percent of our population can purchase a home if they're willing, able, and ready. When we look at this, you can tell that this has gone down drastically, that the amount of home buyers that are able to actually afford and purchase a home in the Sacramento area has drastically changed. That is not substantial and not something that we can keep on a long-term path for. So I do expect that we'll see more changes coming. So that leads to a big question. Are we in a bubble? Are we gonna have a housing crash? Well, my opinion is no. One of the main reasons I say that is simply supply and demand. When we look at the supply of homes available for the amount of demand that we currently have, we are severely underwater with our supply. We need many, many more homes than we have currently to be able to justify that. Unfortunately, at this time, we are not building at a rate that's going to be picked up for many, many more years though. So what are we seeing currently in the market that's already having an impact? Currently, we are seeing some homes that would normally go within the first weekend, sell within the first couple of days that they're on the market, are now taking a week, maybe 2 weeks to actually get into escrow and have an accepted offer. We're not seeing as many showings on a home, so if we list a property, we are not seeing as many home buyers coming through. And overall, we are actually seeing an inventory increase right now with sellers taking advantage of the spring market and the timing. Right now, over the past 2 weeks, we've seen an increase of 52% in the inventory, the amount of homes available just in the Roseville area. So what's the bottom line? If you're a buyer, if the payment makes sense to you, I think it's an appropriate time to buy. Ultimately, when we look at home prices, they may fluctuate up and down, but your mortgage payment is going to be the most important factor long term. If you're looking at selling your home, I suggest that you look into it sooner than later, because now we are getting to a point that I think that we're at the peak of where we can get that top dollar for your home and be able to net you the most money possible. Ultimately, this year will be an interesting year for the housing market to see what happens, but I know that we'll still have an opportunity awaiting you.